So she sits down with black men who are destroying the black community, and she reads them for fucking filth.
And I just felt so bad after hanging out with her, because like I kept having this one like pulsing thought that just kept like coming back into my head over and over again. It made me feel bad.
What was it? What was the thought?
I understood why them niggas did that shit.
Oh my God.
That was a violator, yo. Like that shit was crazy.
I said that. That's what I said. That's what I said. Like everything that you were tweeting was what I said in the video. You obviously did not watch the video at all and just saw the title and just like ran with it, which like probably don't do anymore because we're technically in journalism. So don't just read headlines.
Oh my goodness. I felt betrayed. I felt like I knew this was going to happen because I spoke to this beforehand, but I just didn't think I would feel the way that it did. I send this to Farrah, and Farrah goes, I don't like this.
Nope.
This doesn't feel good. And you know, when I read that, I heard, I'm on her side, Fred. Fuck you. But he said he wasn't trying to let it fly, so we put the clip out anyway.
We put the snippet out.
And there we go. So not only has Yachty done this, Yachty has also done some things that made Spike Drake the wrong way. Talk about there's been comments about the beef. Tyrese, I need you to be honest, okay? Tell us what everybody wants to hear. You was the celebrity fear that all these other celebrities have. What happened to you is what every male celebrity that's super duper successful, that's what happened to you. You found a girl, she said all the right things, she got into your life, you put a baby in her, and then she chucked the deuces at you.
Whole life is revolved around talking about other people's lives.
What the fuck do you think your ass is doing on that podcast now?
This podcast is sponsored by Graffiti Tax Services. For all your tax preparation needs, you can go to graffititax.com. We're going to put the link right here. It should be somewhere. And yeah, you can head to them for during tax season. And if you have any financial or tax preparation questions, head to Graffiti Tax Services. They're our new sponsor. Thank you to Graffiti Tax Preparation Services. That's it.
Okay, so it's a lot of things that we have to get to personally between us, honestly. But I want you to have your code open the way that you want to have it. But I just think I need you to understand you are in for it.
I'm not in for nothing, but I did have a story that I thought about, and I was like, ooh, I've never told you this, so I wanted to tell you on the show.
On air, that's great. I'm shooken right now. I'm really sweating on the inside.
He's shaking in his boots. So my cousin got married a couple years ago. The marriage is already over.
This is the first minutes of the show.
It didn't last. But at her wedding, right, when she was doing first of all, let me start by saying she had an open bar. Mm-hmm. And me and all my cousins were of drinking age. And this was like one of the first times that we were like all together and of drinking age. Like I used to be the oldest cousin and I would just bring a bottle. But but like we were all like allowed to drink in front of our families. So we were wilding, right? We were taking shots at the bar, glasses of champagne consistently. Me and one of my other cousins, like we was going drink for drink.
See, this is why you can't take young people around and out here doing stuff like that. Cause why?
Because also my family, like we drink, like we drink. We're loud. We're Haitian. We have a good time. We jump. We sweat. Like it's a blast.
But when that new wave of family members come out and y'all have what, like you said, that new wave of drinkers, y'all ain't really learned how to drink yet. That gets scary.
So continues my story, right? So I'm like at least 4 drinks and 2 shots in at this point. And she does the bouquet toss. So at this time, I was in a relationship.
Disgusting.
Right? A very committed relationship. So she does the bouquet toss and she tosses it and then the bouquet grazes my hand.
Almost got it. And then so a old white woman who's not even like in the bouquet toss, like she threw it like to the tables. A horrible throw, by the way. But she threw it like to the tables. This old white woman sitting down catches it. What do? I run over to the old white woman. I snatch the bouquet out of her hands. I'm drunk. It grazed my hand. It's mine. You're old. You don't even have enough life left to get married. You don't need this. That's just so. I just want y'all to know when she gets drunk, it's like a totally different person. Like y'all got a little bit of a hint of it before on one of our old episodes. Thank God I was able to edit everything that needed to be taken out. But she gets so aggressive. So I can only imagine with her family giving her the impunity that she feels like she has wherever she goes.
I snatched the bouquet. I run back to my table.
In her mind,
with my cousins.
In your mind, she felt like she was reclaiming Haiti from the white people.
I'm like, first of all, who even are you?
See,
my family is Haitian, both sides, no mix. You're not part of this family, lady. I don't know who you are.
How do you know? You don't even know. You were drunk out of your mind. She could have been somebody's date.
She might have been like somebody on her husband, well, her ex-husband's side of the family or something like that. I don't know. I really didn't care. All I saw was old, running out of time. You don't need this bouquet. My cousin came and took the fucking bouquet back.
And took it to the old lady?
Yes.
Respect. I'm with
That's
that.
why your marriage didn't last.
See, now when she come up here and call you.
She not calling me. She don't know my number.
When she gonna come see you.
You know I'm not really in
family
contact
oriented.
with that side of the family. Nor am I super family oriented, but that's because my mom's side of the family is not in this country. So, but yeah, she came and took that fucking bouquet right back from me. I had that bouquet for literally like a hot second. She took it back.
You didn't earn it. You supposed to catch it on the first. Like if it hits you, it's like baseball. If it hits your hand, you got to catch it.
Yeah.
Or football.
Yeah, definitely. I snatched that bouquet out of that white woman's hands so quick.
You didn't want it. I think that's what it was. You was really fighting it. How many years is this before we met?
This was mad long ago. This was like 20.
We could have found each other earlier.
2018, 2019.
You was down here though, right?
No, I wasn't down here yet. This was before I moved to Georgia. So it was much before you.
Yeah. No.
This is fucking net.
Yeah, got in. So if y'all see us swatting something, we recorded. Let's just tell the people a little bit before we go start the music. We're recording during the middle of the day. So like her mom and stuff's going out and opening doors. So
yeah, all the house doors was open and stuff. So we have gnats and whatnot. And why did they come back? This is not the time of year for gnats. Let's get into it though.
Are you tired of paying a lot of money for your vacation? My name is Shirley Proctor, and I am a partner with Tavodian, a traveling membership group. I can help you save time, money, help you and your loved ones see the world.
One of the first ones she dropped that she made like a music video to. She's amazing. Let's get into it, baby.
All right, now you're now listening to Talk F&F TV, and I'm your host, Rhetoric, or Absurd Rhetoric, as you may know me in some of these streets. And I'm with my lovely and amazing and wonderful co-host, Miss Reality.
Hi, guys.
I missed the clap, man. I'm getting the cord, yo. One day I'm just about to pull up to Walmart and be like, I'm gonna fuck what my wife say, and I'm just gonna grab the cord so we can start having the board back. Because I need to let it rain fire.
I need you to roll it back on the board if you do put the board back into, because we got multiple comments asking you to calm it down.
No, they wanted the sound to be lower, and I obliged. I made the sound lower, but the sound was still necessary.
No, you were doing too many sounds, and people couldn't hear what we were saying over the sounds.
Yes, they could.
They literally said they couldn't.
I don't know.
He's getting defensive over the soundboard.
I do. I get very defensive over the soundboard because that's what I want. I'm mad that these shits keep making noise though after I tightened them all up last week.
Well, yeah, you know, fair.
Got my toolbox out and shit, man.
Mine isn't squeaky.
Well, you don't really have the mass to make it squeak like I do.
Well, maybe you should have less mass.
See, there you go. All right, man. Let's get into some of the topics that we have to get into. Because we definitely got to talk about Tyrese, man. So Tyrese sat down with Club Shay Shay. And I'm going to be honest, man. Like, the anticipation was none other.
I was looking forward to this interview, even though I'm not like a huge fan of Tyrese, but he's definitely going to give you a moment.
Like, we got to put this in perspective, too, like when we take a look at this. Because this nigga was posting videos in the dashiki. You know what I'm saying? So he had the all. I'm thinking this nigga about to spit some real knowledge. He got the dashiki. He hyping it. He's saying it's gonna be bigger than Katt Williams. They drop another little clip before Shannon nut knees about to buckle. Way that motherfucker. He over there over here
Shannon
swimming.
knees always about to buckle.
His knees about to fall
That
apart.
nigga got weak knees.
Shannon is shaped like a triangle.
That nigga got, that was just about to say that he got too much top,
Bro.
for the bottom to support.
Them damn hips don't let him do shit no more.
Not his hips don't lie.
No, but his hips he got 2 hip surgeries.
His hips are like, I can't do this.
He can't work out his legs no more. So I was looking at the video because, okay, let's also talk about
You can't work out your legs without working out your hips. You can't do a lay down.
That's what I'm saying. He can't because his hips is metal. So he can't do.
My bad,
He got a
Shannon.
big upper body. The nigga look like the fucking Incredible Hulk up
Yeah,
top,
upper
and then
body.
look like a regular Joe, like he a quadriplegic on his legs. Like it's crazy the way
Don't
that
say
shit
that.
looks. That's what he does. He looks like it's disproportional.
I
But
feel like you can say that in a different
and
way.
then I could tell he was excited because they wasn't even in the studio. He came to Atlanta.
Oh, I didn't. I was listening in my car, so I didn't get a visual.
He did the same thing that Charlemagne did. He traveled to talk to Tyrese. Because you remember that was the whole beef between Charlemagne and Tyrese was that he went down there, did the interview, and the interview never came out.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Tyrese had a whole story. He's getting sued for it right now because he told the nigga stole his footage. And the nigga suing him for saying he stole it. So there's a whole bunch of shit going on with Tyrese. That's why I really don't want to talk about Tyrese on the show. Because once you get into Tyrese prime, like it's a vortex.
Because why was he singing at the Olympics with a fake beard and a fake fro on?
Yes. So I'm saying like it's a continual, it's like a snowball going down a hill.
Yeah, it's a Pandora's box.
It's just something you don't really want to get into, but we have to step into this. And I'm going to give my expectations from everything that I saw. Just from what I expected, I thought he was going to give us a detailed breakdown of what occurred with him and his wife. Like, I thought we were going to get a day.
Why are you doing this to me?
See, he was on drugs when that happened.
Like,
I thought we were going to get a day-to-day clear breakdown. I thought this was going to be the one moment that he was going to be open and honest because he doesn't really have too much of a relationship with Shannon publicly anyway. Mm-hmm. They're not like they front-facing friends or anything. So I'm thinking this is somebody you feel like this is a black man that you can trust, you can reveal intimate information from, and really get your shit off. Come to find out, this nigga just want to be a braggadocious, self-hating idiot the whole time. Like, it literally was bad.
I didn't get past like the first 45 minutes probably because that's how long my drive is.
No, I listened to the whole thing. Nigga, Shannon.
It was 2.5 hours, by the way.
Shannon started talking about this, something I never realized, even though it's shocking to me, that he was the nigga in that Coca-Cola commercial.
Oh yeah, so that was in the beginning of the interview.
Shannon brought out 2 Coca-Colas. Like, that's what I'm saying. I could tell Shannon thought, oh, I'm about to ease this motherfucker in. I'm going to make him feel like he was when he first started coming into the Hollywood, show him the Coca-Cola, let him know I know a little something about him, and then he going to give it to me. And nothing happened. They went into their conversations, pretty much general shenanigans about, Tyrese and his upbringing.
Before that, though, he lotioned Shannon Sharpe.
That was on my first note right here. That's my first note.
He was like, brother, before you...
Shannon was ashy. That's my first note right there.
He said, brother, stop. Before we get into it, we jumping in too quick. I'm distracted by the amount of dryness going on over there. And he was like, I brought you a little something.
I felt like that was a commercial. That felt like an ad to me.
Again, I didn't have a visual. I thought that he had his own lotion that he was like promoting to give to Shannon, but that was regular lotion?
Mm-hmm. No, that was his oil. He said he was.
Oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense. He was like, yeah, my brother, you ashy, we both dark skin.
He tried to
get it together.
He tried to find the dark skin, grouping. He tried to find that tribe. Like I said, it didn't really, you can see where it was working early, but as he was not kind of, getting into the topics that Shannon probably really wanted him to dive into, that you could tell in this interview more than the other one, like Shannon decreasingly becoming like irritated during the interview.
And it was 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So
nigga sat there the whole time. Now he talked.
You giving me nothing.
Didn't talk about anything. So he did talk about, let me see what I got here. Black unity. So this is the bullshit.
I don't want to hear Tyrese talk about black unity.
See, this is what he tried to do. Because we always talk about you can't say talk about a certain group of people, the 6 point people, a particular way. That nigga Tyrese found a loophole. Shit on black people after you do it. Bring it up. say that they, talk about their culture and all this stuff, and then you shit on black people afterwards, then you can talk about them. But you got to shit on black people afterwards because they love going to the, especially, I hate hearing rich niggas have this conversation about black unity. Because if y'all really wanted black unity, nigga, pay for some shit. Support a union.
Unify some black people.
Put your money into supporting people actively doing something. Mm-hmm. Stop telling us that just because we don't suck y'all dicks, when y'all get y'all shit off or whatever, we don't sit. That's what people say about us. They're like, oh, y'all always shitting on black people. It's like, no, we just talking about black people the same way they treat us and vice versa.
People say that about us?
No, not us personally, but I'm saying like the overarching thought of people, especially in working class America, black, young black people.
Oh, okay.
We're just giving that same kind of energy. No, I'm saying when we talk about people, we're just giving the same kind of energy y'all give back to what y'all think about regular everyday people. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I hate when I hear that black unity talk from them because it just means y'all can't get people to follow your, tribe.
Yeah.
With impunity. They want you to be part of the cult and you're not acting culty.
So what else? What else happened in this interview? Because they lost me at the whole like fingerprint. Your mom and your dad had different fingerprints.
The pseudo deep nigga talk. That was on my next point.
I was just like, I'm done with this because do you mean like your fingerprint as in like the impact you leave, or do you mean like actual like genetics and fingerprints? Because I'm not, like
I said, that hour in between, that I think it was the first hour he talked about himself. That second hour was just pseudo deep nigga shit. It was all fake flugazi talk, and I'm pissed off at this point. Because I'm sitting here like, bro, bring up Samantha. I don't want to hear about nothing else, nigga. You ain't got shit else going on that I really want to be in depth about, nigga. I don't care about the Coke commercial. I don't care about all the niggas niggas you did movies with and then they died afterward. I don't care.
We are messy bitches who live for drama. Give us the tea.
I want to know about that little red light-skinned girl on Instagram who kicked your back in on a daily basis.
We were watching that for mad long. He
doesn't even really address it until the last 30 minutes of the interview.
So what did he say about it? Because I didn't get there at all.
He just gets into his grandstand. But when a man makes a vow, you can't just sit there.
Boo.
You came into this. I made a vow to God, Shannon. And I wasn't just going to break it up. Like, he just gets into all that. Don't give it any details. Nigga, Tyrese, I need you to be honest, okay? Tell us what everybody wants to hear. You was the celebrity fear that all these other celebrities have. What happened to you is what every male celebrity that's super duper successful, that's what happened to you. You found a girl. She said all the right things. She got into your life. You put a baby in her, and then she chucked the deuces at you, nigga. That's what happened. Tell us the embarrassment you felt. That's what I want to hear.
Calculated queen.
I want to hear the shame because you keep trying to do this moral grandstanding about this when this bitch played you, respectfully.
Yeah.
She played you. That's what happened.
It would be much more interesting if you sat down and was like, yeah, I got played. Like,
tell the truth.
I don't know.
I am Hollywood's biggest fear. Say that. Like, really go out there and talk about this is the shortcoming. This example is used to validate all the other men saying, I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
Because it actually bleeds into the next topic, but we're not finished with Tyrese yet. But this is what it is. This is exactly what they want. This is when they can go back and say, hey, why I don't want to get married? You point to Tyrese. If I got money, look what's going on with him. She trying to take $40K from him from child support. Nigga on drugs, asking why, what more can I do for you and all this other shit. Like, he can't see his kids. He crying about that.
He still can't see his kids?
He can see them now, but okay. I mean, there was discussions about it prior. That's what provoked the, talking about his daughter didn't want to see him and all that other shit.
Yeah. So
it's very clear that that's what we need to hear. If you're not going to give us detail, because the shocking part about it is there was no abuse. Everybody thought that was the first thing when it first happened. We thought he was abusive or he was super duper controlling. And all we've ever heard from him, he said he woke up and she said she didn't want to be married no more. Nigga, you got played. That's what it is. She ain't got no shame. She was a chick.
Has she done any interviews explaining her side or anything like that?
No, she's just a social media person. So she'll talk in vague circles and do all that, oh, I'm trying to find myself. And what it just don't realize is like, yo, Tyrese, you really just funded this chick's operation. This is like the reverse of DJ Vlad when he got punched by Rick Ross. Mm-hmm. But she just took a nut to the ovaries. And now she got the sponsorship from the nigga in train. Like this, let's talk about Tyrese and who he is too. Because he's not no slouch in this game.
No. in Shannon's whole like introduction of him, his movies have made $10 billion in revenue.
Yeah. Just think about
he's
all
part of Fast Five and
Transformers. He was part of
like all that stuff. And then the older movies, albums, like TGT, like there's a bunch of stuff that Tyrese has been a part of, and he's been famous for a very long time now, for 30 years, 25, 30 years. So she definitely, that was a very big meal ticket.
Yeah, she was like the perfect position for her to be in. Like, she wasn't famous that much before. She has a doctor next to her name when he met her.
So she was a doctor?
Mm-hmm. She was like not a medical doctor, but like, advanced.
She has a doctorate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Advanced
medical degree.
Not medical, but advanced degree, in the field or whatever. Kind of shit going on. Like she was like, she told him all, I'm not trying to be famous. I don't want to be all out in the woodwork. I'm not about the money. I just want love. I just want to relate. She told him everything that a nigga in his position would want to hear. She read the nigga like a book. And I think that's just the honest truth about him. He just don't want to be played. He just don't want to admit like that's what happened, bro. She played you.
On the other side of that coin, though, same thing that Ludacris did, but it worked out for him because he plucked that girl. I remember she was in law school when they started dating, and she dropped out of law school and got married to him, and everyone was like, "Oh, bitch, da 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 da," and now they're married with like 3 beautiful children and still together.
But see, he got her
even
before.
though she caught her straight from Katt Williams. But
to be fair, he did the smart thing. He did I found her. She has the personality and things that I like. I don't need any validation to her career to continue. Just being real. Like if you looking at it from a position of that man, I found you are where I want you to be at for the rest of your life now. I can stop that growth once I put this lifestyle into you.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it was, it worked out for Ludacris. It did not work out for Tyrese. So sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
But I'm just, and the reason I'm saying why it worked for Ludacris is he caught her in between the studies. The other girl was already graduate. She already had it by her name. Again, what do I always say? The best lady when you in that position, look for one who's been humbled by the world, so you don't have to. Just keeping it a bean. Tyrese. You know how Shannon really was fucked up and he was really disappointed in the interview? There's a part where where Tyrese at the end is talking to the editors. He's like, oh, edit this out and add this all in and do it like this. So when Shannon opens up the album, this happened. That nigga didn't edit none of that out. That nigga just left it all in. And Shannon like, yeah, okay, come on. Yeah, all right, hurry up. Like the nigga Shannon,
I'm trying to go home.
That nigga Shannon was pissed off that interview. I don't blame him though. You king messy boots, and that's the mess you give me? Nigga, this didn't even get my pants dirty.
He was king messy boots when he wasn't sober, but now he's sober, so now he's not king messy boots anymore. No,
that nigga still been messy now. His Breakfast Club interviews and stuff, he been going wild now. The stuff with DJ Envy.
I haven't seen any of those interviews.
I thought we talked about the shit with DJ Envy and his wife, when they were saying how like he had violated or something, and that's why they were no longer cool, him and Envy, because he had said something to his wife. Yeah. That's what Envy Tyrese had said something to, had communications with Envy's wife in a manner that Envy didn't like. And that's what kind of just stemmed into they little beef. That's why it was tough for him to go up on the Breakfast Club a lot. But Tyrese, man, like we know what we want to hear, man. Don't tell me about no interviews no more. Don't tell me nothing's record breaking unless you telling me what Samantha Lee did to your heart and how your pride is never going to be the same. Okay?
We need you to be vulnerable.
I need it. Don't put it in no movie neither, nigga. I want the truth from your heart, nigga. Don't do what Megan Good did and did the divorce movie.
Well, we don't know that that's what happened in their relationship either. Like
I know, but niggas, that just allows niggas to think when you get into that dramatic bag. All right, so we're gonna stay on the football player talking to people market. That's crazy how like the athlete to be an interviewer is now like a whole like demographic now.
Yeah,
like these niggas don't even really gotta have thought out opinions before they even do shit like this. So Cam Newton, let me get this note out here.
This clip was going viral for a while.
So basically, give him a little heads up because you didn't watch it. I did. So
I watched the clip. I didn't watch the interview because I feel like it was gonna give me brain rot. So Cam Newton and Dr.
Cheyene Bryant, I think
Cheyene Bryant sat down and they had an interview. She does these types of interviews that's the type of content that she makes apparently. She sat down with Nick Cannon recently.
A few weeks ago.
So she sits down with black men who are destroying the black community and she reads them for fucking filth. Like that's what she does.
So let me. I watched the whole interview, so that's not how this kind of happened, right? So the whole thing is Cam Newton isn't a serious person at all.
Not at all. You can tell by simply fucking looking at him.
Well, a nigga who's gonna cut the top of his top hat off so his
And then
dreads can stick
add
out.
several feathers to said top hat.
Like, that nigga's not correct in the head. Do you see how he types? Do you see the font that he uses?
Yes.
That nigga is throwed off.
He types like 2002 MySpace.
So anytime you kind of put Cam Newton into a situation, and he speaks to this too, where it's like, bro, like niggas just don't look at you like a serious individual because you just have such antiquated and outdated, ideologies when you speak about certain things. Mm-hmm. And it was just so, oh my gosh, when I first saw the clip, I wanted to focus on one point that she said. She was trying to say essentially, you create broken families because you choose to have children over marriage,
And you're selfish.
To me, the selfish part, I'm not going to disagree. I don't think you're necessarily creating a broken family if you have the finances and the women who are willing to accommodate what has to be done so that a family unit can still be looked at and seen.
If the women are willing to accommodate, they both created broken families, because the definition of a broken, like if you want to be very like specific about it, it's mom and dad in the house. Raising
That's
the
a
child.
nuclear family.
Yes, but when people say you're broken family,
But I feel like that's what I'm
then
talking about.
a non-broken family would be mom and dad in the house, a nuclear family. So by definition, he is creating broken families. If you want to get into like semantics and finances,
that's what I'm saying, like,
and stuff like that, then yeah, but I do want to create the foundation of like, this man is not in 8 children's homes where they can just walk into the bedroom and be like, daddy.
True, that's what I'm saying. You got to listen on. That's why if you didn't watch the whole thing, he said all his kids live with me.
So all 8 live with him.
He said they live with me. They don't have their mamas around.
Ooh, I want to get into how he making this poor lady look. Are they still together, Jasmine?
Well, one of them I think is my kin.
I'm talking about the girlfriend.
Oh, the most recent one. Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Does she have any kids with him? I think she did.
No, I don't. I think she has one. My question is, are they still together?
Oh, I think they are from everything I've seen.
I'm gonna Google it real quick. Continue though.
But no, so she talks about that where she says about the broken family, and like I said, I just want to just stay on that topic right there for just a second with the broken family. I don't feel like if I go in there with intentions that I don't say, hey, I want this to be this, and that. If I don't make plans and say, oh, we're gonna be married, we're gonna have this kind of family, I don't think it's necessarily a broken family in that manner.
You know, she went on a Baby Mama #3 tour.
Oh yeah, for her comedy shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her name is Jasmine Brown.
Bro, she has said, I would rather be #3 baby mama to a rich nigga than try to build with a regular nigga. Like, she said that straight up.
Yeah. I followed her before she started dating him because she was an influencer. She was a comedian. She was kind of funny, but yeah.
So just to kind of just get into, just to stay on Cam just a little bit with it, the arrogance was just seen throughout the interview too, because I don't know how you felt about this woman, but the whole time it was displayed like when she said that she was not interested in a nigga with kids and she called this nigga low functioning, he was upset. Like, you wanted to fuck her.
He was visibly upset.
Yeah, he wanted to sleep with her or something. Or the fact that she made it seem like she wouldn't sleep with a nigga like him, he was upset. Like,
she made it seem like he was below her.
Yeah, it was all pride and ego for his, basically based off of his accomplishments. I'm not saying you don't deserve to do it, nigga. You won MVP and Heisman. Only about 7 niggas that did that. So you have a right to feel, about yourself a particular way.
When it comes to football.
Yeah, football. And I mean, just general accomplishments in life. But it could just tell, like, you was just upset the whole time that she didn't want you. Like, the whole argument that he was just trying to make, he was trying to defend his lifestyle and things like that. Again, I don't feel like you're a broken home if the one, because it takes 2 people to make that decision. So I can't, and that was the part about her criticism I didn't like, was that you paint it as he's creating broken home when he don't have babies. The women have the babies. And again, as we've already just pointed out,
one of his sentiment that you have.
But I'm saying, we just made the point. The baby mama said, "I'd rather be baby mama 3, than be with a regular nigga."
Yeah, that I agree with you that both parties decided to,
and it wasn't like
engage in the broken homes.
After Cam Newton left the little community college he had to go to and was at Auburn, everybody knew he was going to be a superstar. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't in question if any of these women had his children. Like, you knew you was getting a superstar athlete kid. Like, you knew this was going to happen for him. It was destined. This nigga 6'6", 260. Nigga run a fucking 4'7". Like, this nigga moves.
You niggas need to start saving your nut.
Or nigga,
make better decisions. But if you gonna eventually.
That's the thing. I understand what you're saying, but if I have the money to support the family, all you as the woman got to do is acquiesce. He could have a non-broken family if all the women were just like, hey, let's just be sister wives. But we don't never hear that advocated for. When these
not in the United States.
Cheyene Bryant doctors and stuff go on there, we never see them advocating for, hey, it's okay to be part of a nigga's tribe. Was never that ever gets thrown up. Why not? Why is not more of that?
Not in the United States, no.
Why are we not telling, hey, some of y'all egos, cause you low functioning. That was her word that she liked to use.
Well, did he not bring it up first? He said that people think that I'm low functioning because of my situation, and she asked him
in the clip.
Okay.
That's what it looks like, but that's her terminology from like her literature and shit like that.
Okay.
She doesn't base it like, you know how Kevin Samuels was high value? Mm-hmm. She does high functioning.
High and low functioning. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So in her regards, and like I said, some of the stuff she was kicking was, I feel like I don't think she believes it truthfully. Like, I don't think she really believes the stuff that she was trying to say, because to be honest, the stuff about a financially high valued woman would definitely take into consideration her partner's value in continuing a relationship, or it's not really a serious relationship. So I think that's one of the things she tries to say, oh no, it happens all the time. It doesn't happen with the same level of dignity and respect. Like, that's the main point that people try to focus on when they had that conversation.
Did he have the sentiment throughout the interview that he was still looking for his wife?
Yeah, he said that. Both of them said that. They both wanted to be married.
Okay, so that's my thing with Jasmine Brown, his current girlfriend. Do you remember the interviews that she was doing about their relationship and how she is there for him? And she was speaking.
She takes it up the ass?
Okay. Other than that, she was speaking so poetically about the way she loves him and the way she takes care of him and the love that they have for each other. Mm-hmm. And obviously, like, she wants to be the wife so bad.
Cam Newton.
Yes, like, she wants to be chosen. She wants to get that ring. And then for him, like, for one of the first interviews that I see Cam Newton do, talking about relationships and stuff like that, he's like, yeah, I'm still looking. I haven't come across her yet. And this bitch is on interviews talking about, I wash his feet and I cook his meals and I take care of all of the kids. Like, come on, my nigga.
Can we be honest? There is a world where she knows she's fortunate enough to be in her situation and still not be the individual that he loves. I just think that, like, we have to take ego out of this equation, because a lot of these women, and maybe she could be considered a low functioning woman. I wouldn't say that. But that's what Cheyenne Bryant would say. She's a low functioning woman because she's okay with this predicament.
It's not even about that. It's about, like, how you make your person look in public. Like, that's important too. He didn't take into consideration. I don't think he was thinking at all. I don't think it even crossed his mind that this is gonna make my girl look crazy.
It's the same thing with Nick Cannon
it also did. I don't think Nick Cannon gives a fuck about
he talked about the deceased kid member in a very, like,
no, what I'm saying is, I don't think Nick Cannon gives a fuck about reassuring any of those women that he impregnated that they're gonna be his one and only. Like, that's not the case for Nick Cannon at all. But for him to go on there and then say that you're still looking for your wife when this lady is gushing about you every chance she gets, like, it makes her look crazy. And I don't think he took that into consideration at all.
Oh, for sure. I don't think he really cares about that aspect of it. I think he understands his relationship with her. She's the mother of his child, and if you hold it down, you gonna get, and you give me access, then we gonna be cool. We gonna do what we need to do in regards to you having a good life and the child having a good life. I just think that I don't think that there's nothing wrong with that being, if you're open and honest with these people, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, 100%. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But it's just like, damn, do I not get some, like,
not you. Like that, I'm saying, not her. You don't get it. You aren't that kind of woman to him. And that's okay.
No. Do I not get some, like, can you not help me a little bit to not make me look stupid? Like, we both know what it is. But you ain't gotta, like, fucking blast me and make me look stupid in front of everybody. You
didn't have to tell niggas you rub my feet and let me put it in your ass when I want.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have kept that to yourself, my nigga.
I feel like if it was up to him, nobody would know that they were even, like, together for real.
Yo, when I watched that interview, she brought that shit up like 3 times. I don't think she can poop regular.
Like that is like advertisement. When women are like, oh, I do this for him, I do that for him, I'm such a good woman, I'm such a good woman. And they know that this nigga's not about to put a ring on my finger. Let me let these niggas know what they about to get if they do put a ring on my finger. Come here. This is what I give you. Mm-hmm. And that might be a little bit of why she's doing that. Mm-hmm. Like, you get to put it in my ass and cheat.
It's open. It's a little loose in there, but it's open. Ugh. Oh man. Okay, so let me make sure I got everything. Do the butt
muscles work the same way as the vagina muscles? Do they just snap back?
I don't think so. I don't think they're meant to snap back the same capacity. Because like you poop, but poop. Sometimes poop can be bigger, but I don't know, man. The way the frequency that she was bringing it up, it was almost exclusively anal. For real, dead ass.
I didn't watch that interview either. It's like secondhand embarrassment. You know, I'm not about to watch an interview that gives me secondhand embarrassment. I was like, ooh, girl, no. So I didn't watch it.
All right. So I think just some of the other criticisms I had with the lady who was up there. I will say you do look the part to be able to talk that kind of stuff. I mean, I understand the 41-year-old, not married, dating coach is going to be a card pulled on you. But I mean, that's just part of the game in regards to that. I just think that like, when you are in a position of being a dating coach with women and you stress agency, because she said she walked away from 2 marriages before, all that other stuff, it's clear that you value you over anything else.
Yes.
That's cool. Like, but you should I think you should express that comes with whole plot holes. Or
100%.
There's you more than likely will end up the 40-year-old, no kids, never been married.
Every lifestyle you choose has its caveats.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think that needs to be expressed. I think she tries to hide over that, jump over that a little bit. She doesn't, shine the light on that reality.
I can't speak to that because I've never watched this woman's content. I watched one clip. Mm-hmm. So
no, I watched this clip and then I watched a little bit of her Nick Cannon clip. Again, the only thing else I didn't agree with her is the Bible
Nick
talk.
Cannon too?
Oh, for sure, 100%. She did the same thing she did with Cam. This is like I said, it was weird though. One weird thing, and I don't mean to be mean, she looks so much older with Nick Cannon than she did with
it might have just been lighting and makeup.
Been. Like, she had her hair up too, like she didn't have it down like the other one. So
yeah.
She did look a lot. That's why I thought that interview was like older. Like she may have got work done but no, it was like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it was crazy.
It's really crazy how makeup and hair can change also, 5 years how you look. Also
the Bible stuff, I just don't understand why women in these positions love to use the Bible when it's convenient for them. Because you're breaking the rule when you talk about it. There's literally 1 Timothy. Look it up. You know the Bible too well, and then like you be trying to throw things from the Bible that people don't generally know or go by. I know that there's a lot of shit in the Bible. I'm just saying the Bible is clear about a whole bunch. It's vague about a whole bunch of shit. It's vague about a whole bunch of shit. But Christians clear about women. Christians and people who follow the Bible pick and choose what they wanna follow. So that part. But see, I disagree with that, because then if you pick and choose, then the shit ain't real. Because if it's real, you following whatever it say. That's just like me. I say bankers, you can't be a banker and be Christian because it's clearly in the Bible that you're not supposed to give money out at a loan as an interest rate. So if you're doing that in a banker, you can't believe in God. Sorry, hate to break it to you. It's crazy that we have "in God we trust" on our money, and and it's debt. We're literally sinning. It's fucking debt. But no, well, it's all. I feel like these types of content creators and people who are giving out relationship advice, they have to have a religious aspect connected to it, because people who are listening and watching and consuming this content are also God-fearing people. I feel like they're also one and the same. If you're a 30-something-year-old woman that is still single and is watching this content to try to find advice on how to find a man or how you should act and stuff like that, like, you probably going to church too. I feel like all of that falls in the box. So you kind of have to do that to connect with your audience. I mean, back in the day, when you aged out to a certain, marriage for ladies, they just put you in an apartment complex and called it a day. You just got to become an old hoe at that point. What did that shit used to be called? I forgot. It was on that Moral Oral show. Spinsters. Yeah, they just turn you into a spinster. Bro, deadass, just take some young lovers. You help a couple young niggas
lives get a little bit easier. You know, give them $40 once in a while.
Tell them where to put their money at.
Yeah, like you're a pillar of the community.
I just want to go. That's crazy. I just want to have it back in the day when the woman who like, you know what I'm saying, either her husband died or she got, you know, divorced or just never married.
It's time for you to take some young dick.
Yeah, where she used to pick the young nigga up and teach him, you know, how to be an adult in a way. You know, she'd get a little
and how
her back blown
fuck
out.
The young hoes better.
Yeah. Like Tasha Mack on The Game, remember?
Yeah.
Her and what's that nigga name? This nigga,
I don't remember.
He was in the car. He did the car
watched
shit.
The Game 7 times full out.
No, but he was the nigga that was on BET with Roxy.
Oh, Terrence.
Terrence J. Yeah, Terrence J. was her young lover on that. Yep.
I used to have such a big crush on Terrence
J. What happened in that car, nigga? What happened? All right,
we have
one last
no
point.
idea.
One last point. I want to stay on this for one last point.
That's one of the best kept secrets in Hollywood. And why would Terrence J have one of the best kept secrets in Hollywood? Nigga, cool. What kind of team you got around? And we haven't heard from him really since.
No, you're right. Well, I think he did a movie not too long ago. I think he was in a movie. But one thing I wanted to ask about this. So she has this like moral code for the low functioning, high functioning. Essentially is what she's saying. Like it's more of a moral, like personal in-depth thing, like your relationship with God, your relationship with, you know, how you treat people, how you know, consume when you're angered and all that other things like that. That's how she kind of gauges people with it. I just feel like the moral shit just doesn't work when you're in a society like we are in.
No.
Like you trying to portray that, you can't pay for nothing with morals. We don't live in a moralistic society, or we don't work, you know, on meritocracy where you are done by the actions that you do. Mm-hmm. We are in a capitalist society. So if you're asking yourself why men of their ilk get to do and act a certain way, it's because of the capital that they generate and they bring in. Like it's very that clear. There's nothing really much else that you could add to it.
People with more money have different rules.
Yeah, and it's
across the board.
And the same thing goes. There's also different things that apply to them a particular way. Like they also can't really have a genuine experience. That's the one thing he kept trying to say about men, and that's like I don't think that it applies to men not being able to find love in a genuine way. I think it applies for people who have something of ilk and gain that you're not really going to find somebody, especially when you can provide a lifestyle. It's going to be tough, man. So I can't get mad at Nick Cannon. I'm not mad at Nick Cannon or any of these people because I don't feel like they're purposely making broken homes. I feel like to purposely make a broken home, you were selling this woman a dream and she had your baby out of the idea that this dream was going to be fulfilled when she had the baby. If you tell her, hey, I got a cattle of kids and I need you to be my next, you know, breeding partner, and she's down with it, so be it. That's not a broken family to me. That's just a more organized and, you know.
You think it's just a different type of family?
I think it's
not like your traditional nuclear family.
Yeah, it's
just a different type of.
It's like back in the day, yo. Like niggas had kids everywhere. Like they would go to their different castles and different lands, and they'd have a bitch there with their kids, and just what niggas do when they got power. Niggas in the primal days wasn't out here. Hey man, will you want to be my one and only? They was like, no, join the troops.
Join the winning team.
Yeah, look at Lions.
Look at these bitches over here. They fed and housed and clothed and clean.
Yeah.
Be one of these bitches.
Look how lions operate. You know what I'm saying? The lion don't kill nothing. He don't chase nothing. His woman do it. But she just scared of him because he know he can take her out. Unless
all the women team up, because they do
that sometimes.
They do that. If they sick of your ass, all of the female, the lionesses,
they'll start biting your balls.
And he will have to. They either kill him or he'll have to leave.
Yeah. So let's stay on this since we're talking about animals. Crocodile Cam.
This is some Twitter shit that I am not privy to for real. Like,
this isn't in your algorithm? How not?
I've seen a TikTok video and I've seen them making jokes about the eyes. I've just seen
Shawty's eyes.
I've just seen like the eyes, and there was like if I'm making up a story or something like that. But like let me know what happened, because this is messy, it seems.
We talked about Crocodile Cam before. Remember him and Nature Boy was beefing?
Yes.
So we talked about him before.
Nature Boy is in jail.
He is?
That's the nigga that had the all of the women?
That was the nigga that got beat up in a restaurant.
Oh, okay. No.
So
my bad.
That porn
my bad.
Shit.
No, it wasn't porn.
Oh, okay.
He was like a poly guy and he was abusing a bunch of women. He went to jail.
Oh,
Continue.
Okay. Well, no, yeah. So he had a beef for him back in the day, but apparently him and this sex worker by the name of I'm sure I said that shit right. Caramello.
Caramello.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, Caramello.
Yeah. So she is a sex worker. If you're not familiar, I've seen her before. She's very nicely shaped lady.
Of course you've seen her before.
She does the Velma type of look, like the nerdy, like I'm gonna wear these weird glasses while I have like this 12-incher like drilling me.
It does like the glasses that she wears isn't even like I'm gonna get these from the beauty supply and look like a nerd. They're literally like at least 3 centimeters thick. I feel like she needs those to see.
Yeah, she's doing it on purpose though. They're bifocals.
Okay.
Like, I think it's an aesthetic she's going for. There's an aesthetic she's going for. She's trying to be like, I'm the nerdy girl, but I get nasty type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of like her. The crazy thing about it is, I'm not gonna lie, she looks better with clothes on. Like when she wears the clothes. When she wears the clothes, the type of angle she does, like she does have a nice, she's well endowed up there. But it's like it looks better in the clothes pic than it does when she's butt at. Because I went to the Reddit. Sorry, baby girl, you got leaked, and everybody had your shit on there. So let's talk about what's going on. Yeah,
what was the beef?
So apparently these two were in a situation. They were exchanging, having conversation with each other, talking. They were in the talk. What it seemed like to me, they were in the talking stage.
Yeah.
She comes out on the internet, basically says that they're no longer talking or whatever. He was being weird, and her followers and the following went to being like, oh, he was trying to sexually assault her, or he was doing all this other stuff. So Crocodile Cam comes out and says, hey, I respect all women and think the best of anyone, no matter what you do. But I want to tell y'all guys the truth. That's literally his whole vibe throughout the whole tweets. So he exposes some tweets about them or whatever. And essentially, like, he was just asking her questions about what she was doing in regards to work and things like that. But she was being very vague. So it wasn't like you were giving him the cue to be like, oh, this is something I don't want to talk about. She's just not answering the questions. And it kind of becomes an issue. Because he basically asked like, well, can I see what you were working on? That's the kind of question you see in his text messages. She gets upset about it. No, you'll never see it. All this other stuff. And he just asking questions why. So basically, what it comes is,
I can see it if I pay $4.99.
What it basically was going on. Well, he didn't pay. That's one thing. He didn't pay. If he wanted to see, he could have paid. The problem was what it is, and what I kind of gathered from everything is this is why you don't really get in relationships with sex workers and women of this ilk, because they're damaged. She didn't understand that she was talking to
Stop
somebody.
Where I thought this was going.
No, she is. She doesn't know how to have a conversation with a man that doesn't have a price tag going on with it. It doesn't have. So when I'm talking to you and like, just say you say, hey, I was at work doing some such, and I say, oh, what'd you do? What got into? You don't look at it as a bad thing because you do honorable work. But if I know you do sexual work and you're just talking to me and I ask you about it, you're not going to take it seem like I'm trying to get sexual with you. And in her mind,
the content is sexual in nature regardless, because that's what you do with sex work.
He didn't know what she was doing at the time. He was just asking. Like he knew she did sex work on the side. I don't know. That's what encapsulates your whole life unless you tell me. You know what I'm saying?
You might work in the office and then sell pussy.
Or you might do other genuine content that just don't happen to do with porn.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of adult film stars that do that. So what I'm saying is she don't understand. She's been in this probably for a few years. I know I've seen her for a few years. She's been in it for a few years. She don't know how to have a genuine conversation with the man. Every conversation she has with the man comes from a damaged perspective. So when you deal with women like that, that's all they know. I got a crazy example about this, right?
I don't think that's true.
Yes,
I feel like it might be like she has a very transactional view of communicating with men, but it might not be damaged. But I'm just, it's tricky to get into the conversation that like every single sex worker is damaged. I don't want to.
Just think about the conversations we have. So do you think the conversations you have your job make things easier for us in here or harder? Because your conversations, you are putting a more exaggerated version of yourself.
I turn on a character.
Turn up. So then you're just turning down, but your character isn't being sexualized. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm a completely different person.
But it's more of a positive. It's not you're not dealing in any degeneracy.
No.
You don't feel like shame comes about when you do what you're doing.
No,
not in a real way.
No, not at all.
Let's imagine now. She gets up there. She got a island. Kind of like what we got over there, the island. And she got her fucking plastic going in and out of her vagina to the point where she probably can't even look at the camera because her face not in the scene. She can't even look at the camera while she's doing. What do you think that does to you mentally over time? When that's all you're showing and that's the work that you're doing every day. That puts you into a position of like you don't look at the world like everybody else.
Definitely not. I don't think sex workers look at the world like everybody else. If you're willing to be in that vulnerable of a position publicly, I think you are like your brain works differently.
There's no more vulnerable for you. You can't be vulnerable anymore.
That's not vulnerable to you because you're willing to do it.
That's what I'm saying. Like the grounds, the wall that's above your vulnerability are so thick that it's not even like you can be vulnerable anymore.
I think that is something. I don't know if there's like research. Probably not. There's probably not research into like sex workers, their lives, their relationships. We'll look into it. If there is, we'll talk about it again on the next show, because this is something that I think would be really interesting to talk about. I've always wanted to have a sex worker on the show also. Mm-hmm. I think that would be great if we are able to find one. But
I'm just saying, like, it's somebody who you have to put a shell up with a big part of your life with. Your brain chemistry is just damaged after that.
That's why I genuinely feel like sex workers are better in relationships with other sex workers.
Yeah. If you're in the business, then y'all brains are kind of fucked up the same. No,
yeah.
For real.
Yeah. Because I feel like anybody who is just like a regular person would find it difficult to be in a relationship with a sex worker. That's not something that you can, especially depending on what type of sex work they do, regardless of what type of sex work they do. I could be with somebody that sells feet pics, but like if you're doing porn, if you're doing
any kind of sex work,
prostitution, or like I can't get jiggy with that.
Hey man, go Google Brian Pumper right now. That nigga head is done. You don't understand any kind of reality.
No, like niggas who run into Brian Pumper, like it's not. The interaction never makes sense.
So this is what I'm saying. This isn't just a male thing, like a male female thing. This is when you're in that act, when you're in that environment. Why do you think like when you see the people who leave it, they have to go super heavy on like religion or something like that? Because like their brain chemistry is just so damaged that they need to find a new set of rules to understand the world.
If you do it for that long, yeah.
Yeah, you need to find a new set of rules to understand the world.
There are people, but this is a completely different conversation that we've been getting into now. But what about the people who have been doing it for mad long, like your Lex Steels?
Oh, they're not.
That nigga is still pounding pussy.
Yeah,
like
their brain is in it. Like they're part of it. Like they're not. I'm pretty sure they don't have real genuine relationships.
There's no way.
Unless they're with other people in the business. And then when I talked to Willow Ryder, she said the same thing. She said most people it's just they keep it in the business because it's harder for people outside the business to understand us. Because like I said, nobody else is doing this. Nobody else is looking at their job as taking a piece of their humanity a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like Adam 22 and Lena kind of have like a Cinderella story of the porn community, kind of like. Mm-hmm. That's their situation as sex workers is like the most ideal, most loving romantic relationship you can get into. That is just stay over there with each other.
I mean, nobody else can. The brain that you'd have to do that, like
to deal with that.
Yeah, if I knew another nigga was looking at you a particular kind of way, and you was even giving them a kind of flavor back, like it's done, nigga. I'm up. It's explosive around now.
Even if the flavor was for work.
100%, nigga, especially if it's for work.
So you wouldn't be able to date like a bottle girl or a stripper either.
No, I've never been into that. I've talked to strippers before, but it was merely because I wanted to sleep with them. It was never because I actually wanted something after that. Like it was not, like I said, I was gonna bring up this story where I was talking to this one girl, and she revealed to me like she had been in like some serious domestic violence situations. Like,
oh no,
4 different niggas.
Oh no,
like for real. Like she sent one like where
you gotta start busting at niggas.
She sent me a picture, right? And you could see like her eye was almost out of her head. Like she had like, it was crazy, like real bad damage, yo. And so I ended up chilling with her and hanging out with her or whatever. And we probably hung out like 1 or 2 times. And I just felt so bad after hanging out with her. Cause like I kept having this one like pulsing thought that just kept like coming back into my head over and over again. It made me feel bad.
What was it? What was the thought?
I understood why them niggas did that shit.
Oh
that
God.
Bitch was a violator, yo. Like that shit was crazy. Like she was really a violator.
What the fuck do you mean? Nah, because now I'm imagining you hanging out with this bitch trying not to punch her in the face. That's
not me. So it's not me saying I want to punch her. I'm just sitting here understanding. Like, oh, well, I see why nigga popped you for that. Oh, I see why he got you. Like I'm saying it in my head.
She from New York?
No, I don't know where she was from. I can't even remember. She actually
we
was
got
the girl.
Crazy mouths.
She was actually the girl. Remember when we was out with your dad? And I told you I got a crazy call from somebody old? Mm-hmm. That was her. That's what I'm saying.
Bitch, I would say I whoop your ass, but you sound like
You got too much experience at it.
yeah, I would call the police on you. You're going to jail, bitch.
But no, it was just like
Along with the rest of your old niggas.
It was just situations where it was just sitting there like I can understand where somebody who has been in a bad situation and you keep those habits up because that's just has been life for you.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm just saying where it's like, yo, she was too far gone for me though. All right, so speaking of standing up to bitches, I think we need to have a discussion because I've said this on this show. This would happen.
Who is bitches, first of all?
I'm just saying women in general. I'm just using that as a turn of phrase because it just sounds better. It's called entertainment. People are in the entertainment business. How about they just remember it?
Nah.
So let's talk about this. I said this was going to happen to us. Mm-hmm. So on a recent post, I went in and I added
yesterday.
It was recent. That's recent. I don't know how much more recent you can get. Recent post that I put out. I added Lex and Drea. Mm-hmm. And I asked a simple question.
Minds.
I asked a simple question. Should Lex leave Drea behind? Mm-hmm. And I had a little engagement just from our local little conglomerate of people who listen to our content. And then Lex showed up.
She definitely did. Do you have the tweets?
I have the tweets screenshotted.
Okay, so you can pull them up.
So
because she deleted a couple of the tweets that she
did.
Replied to.
Yes, she did.
But we have those screenshotted too.
I have them here. So she was responding to one of the people who basically responded to our original post and says, "This is so lame. Y'all create any kind of content for clout. Get the fuck out my mentions."
That was Lex.
Yes, this is all Lex. Mm-hmm. Drea didn't respond to anything.
What did the person reply and like what was she replying to?
Somebody just saying like, "Oh no, don't do it." And I was like, "Well, we got to do the science type of stuff. We got to wake it up." So I was just saying that to him. She then also calls it big loser behavior. She deletes both of these posts though. So then I go up to her and I say on another post that she puts out, because she said, "You're not getting a reaction out of me today." Nope. Just know Poor Minds isn't going anywhere. I said, this is all we asked for in our video. You would have liked it if you watched. I think that's a fair thing to say.
Yeah. She
responds, not watching it. This is exactly what feeds into pods breaking up. If y'all had a question about anything, simply, you could have asked. But to answer the question you tagged me in, Poor Minds isn't breaking up. And then she went, we on the better things. And then I just responded, what leads to podcast breaking up is greed, jealousy, and hate. Speculation and criticism will only help grow you to new heights. But thanks for the response. So I send this to Farrah, and oh my goodness, I felt betrayed. I felt like I knew this was going to happen because I spoke to this beforehand, but I just didn't think I would feel the way that it did. I send this to Farrah, and Farrah goes, "I don't like this.
Nope.
This doesn't feel good." And you know, when I read that, I heard, "I'm on her side, Fred. Fuck you." That's exactly what I heard. And I knew this was going to happen when it came to the girlies that you like and the ones that you want to be friends with and do all the little girly, let's get our nails done and hair done and ow, all that little shit that you try to do. You act like this.
First of all, I didn't.
You betrayed me.
I didn't like the way he handled it because he knows that these are like my favorite podcasters. And I feel like if he was talking to his favorite podcasters, he would have handled it in a completely different way. These are people that he don't give a fuck about.
I've called my favorite podcaster a dust head to his face.
Okay, fair. You're right. Your favorite podcaster is problematic as fuck, and he shouldn't be your favorite podcaster. So that's fair. He's problematic as a motherfucker. So you can very fairly criticize him. My favorite podcaster, Lex, is not problematic in the slightest bit. Not even a little bit. But the whole thing was frustrating for me to watch unfold, not because of him, because of Lex. I was just like, this is so disappointing because the title is salacious, so we can get people to click on it. But if you watched it for literally 30 seconds, the whole video is me talking about how much I love Poor Minds.
Yeah.
The whole thing is me talking about their dynamic and how much I like it and how great they are together. She was like, "Oh, Poor Minds isn't breaking up anytime soon." Bitch, I said that. That's what I said. That's what I said. Like everything that you were tweeting was what I said in the video. You obviously did not watch the video at all and just saw the title and just like ran with it, which like probably don't do anymore because we're technically in journalism. So don't just read headlines. It was just disappointing as fuck. Like honestly. And then in the clip, the reason we titled it that, in the clip, I'm talking about how Lex is venturing off to do her own YouTube channel, which I will support. And he asked me, are they breaking up? And I said no. And that's where we got the fucking title from. So it's just like, I don't know. It left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, I still like the girl. I still love Lex and Drea. But it was just fucking weird because it was like, if you dedicated 1 minute to watching this, then you wouldn't have replied that way. And I think she did watch a little bit, which is why she deleted her first initial tweets talking about, oh, big loser energy and blah, blah, blah. Because the entire from start to finish video was positive and me saying nothing but good things about Lex and Drea together. And me saying that I'm so glad that Lex is giving me more because I want more of her. What the fuck? Like, that was so disappointing, genuinely.
It was crazy too because I was in the spaces later on because we didn't record like our normal time. And one of the guys was like, yeah, your wife was super flattering to her. Like, it was a really good video about it.
Yeah. Bitch, I fucking love you. Like, what the fuck? And I hate that. I hate the feeling of like being disappointed by somebody that you are a fan of.
No, I mean,
it's a shitty feeling.
They say not to meet your your idols.
When I met her, it was fine.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. I told somebody, I'm like, yo, they've met before. That's the funny part.
Like, I have her phone number. What the fuck? So, like, it was very odd. And I'm trying not to let that get into, like, get in the way of me supporting Lex, because I still genuinely enjoy her so much. And it's rare that I find a content creator that I enjoy as much as Lex. So I'm still going to support her. We'll chuck it up to a misunderstanding, but I just don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't mad about anything. She has every right to respond.
I was mad about it. I wasn't mad about it. I was highly disappointed by it. Genuinely. I was so sad. I was like, I don't want you to think that I'm talking shit. And if you just took 1 second to do your research, you would realize that that's the opposite. It wasn't even a gray area. No, it was a shining video of how much I love you. Like,
I even tried to like set it up for you to do anything. Like when I asked the questions I asked, like I was just setting up questions to allow you to either put a good light on them or put whatever you had to say. And I didn't know what you was gonna say.
There's nothing. Everything that he set up for me to say was positive because I have nothing but positive opinions and thoughts about your podcast.
The same person even said, she brought up the point where you can't even tell when they've been arguing. Like, they're so good at what they do. And
this is, so the episode after the birthday episode that I was talking about on the last one, they did a tour in London with like other popular podcasts. There's another podcast, I forget the name of their podcast, but there are 3 African women. And they brought it up again. They were like, yeah, we fight and nobody can tell on the next fucking episode. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it, Lex.
Come on, we can piece it up. We can have a talk.
That's it. Minds. And I almost wanted to DM her and be like, no, like from my personal page, you know? But then I don't think she would have even saw it. It probably would have got lost in a sea of DMs.
Hey, big head.
Yeah, but like it left a really bad taste in my mouth, and I hope that I don't think she's going to go back and watch the video, but I do hope that she comes into the Twitter spaces one day so that I can finally come in there with you and explain to her what the fuck happened, because I don't want us to be at odds.
That's peace. All right. And I don't want you to make me feel like you going to pick these internet people over me. That was really this whole conversation was supposed to be about.
Obviously, I picked these internet people over you because I didn't even talk about how you felt about it.
Didn't even want to address like what my problems were with this.
Because fuck your problems.
See, that's crazy. You don't want to. I have an issue here. I feel like you chose this woman over me.
I feel like your issue is invalid.
See, all right,
because
now.
I married you, and I don't. Well, I do know this lady, but like not really. Like I've met her, but I don't know this lady.
So I feel like even more, you should be on my side.
We'll agree to disagree.
See, they don't respect the vows. They don't respect the vows. From sickness in Porter. That's what Tyrese was saying, yo. Tyrese was kicking knowledge now that I'm thinking about it, yo.
Yeah, you had one more drink in, and now Tyrese's was kicking knowledge.
I just put more juice in there. I didn't put no more alcohol. Yo, I don't want none of your champagne, yo. Don't put that in my drink, my nigga. I'm not cool with this.
He needs to get where I am.
All right, we got to get into something that's a little bit older. I hate when like big shit happens after we record.
Right after, directly, literally like 2 hours after.
It's just infuriating in the highest order.
This is why sometimes I just wish we had like a permanent studio space so that when stuff like this happens, we can just sit down and do it like a little 10, 15 minute. Yeah.
One day we'll get it set up.
Yeah.
To be like that. That's what your mom always tells me too. Y'all need to get it so it's always up. She hates seeing me move all this stuff around.
Yeah, but we would need an extra bedroom.
Yeah. Or someone like
an extra space or like I don't know. Let's continue though.
But no, so this happened and I feel kind of close to this. The only reason why I really wanted to keep it in the rundown was because I know one of the girls that was involved in this. Mm-hmm. So if y'all didn't see, what everybody thinks this starts at was the clip with Mitch and Yachty. I'm not gonna play all these clips because a lot of these niggas talking shit.
This niggas
y'all rather
crashing out.
Yeah, if you want to hear them talk about it, you can go on the internet. It's everywhere. But he talks to Mitch. He says like, hey, you know, you can't give the advice that you are offering to give to kids about getting jobs and stuff like that when you never did any of that because you essentially wouldn't be nothing without me.
He said, nigga, you was lazy as fuck. You did not want to get a job. And if I didn't pull you up by your bootstraps forcefully against your will, you would be broken, desolate, and nothing.
And I think that is a crazy violation.
What?
That was nuts. But I don't think it starts there. I think what we're watching with Yachty is somebody who is in a position that he really is not ready for or he's been prepared for, let alone somebody who probably shouldn't be having the kind of power he has now. So let's kind of just take this a little step back. So remember when he released the clip out to Kai and then he went and bragged about it? Kai Sanat?
Oh, the guy that he wouldn't clear his sample.
Yeah, so he does that, right? He goes on Flagrant 2 with Andrew Schultz and tells everybody, hey, you know, Buddy said he wasn't trying to let it fly, so we put the clip out anyway.
Put the snippet out.
And there we go. So not only has Yachty done this, Yachty has also done some things that made Spike Drake the wrong way. Talk about there's been comments about the beef that weren't, you know, processed maybe the way he hoped it would be.
About Drake and Kendrick's beef?
Mm-hmm. There's place that
I remember Yachty saying stuff about that when it was happening.
He had Joe Budden on the show. Budden had
Joe Budden on his show?
Yeah, on the Safe Place podcast.
I never saw that.
Yeah, that was just last week.
Oh.
Joe was in the spaces telling us to watch it.
Oh.
So he does it with Joe. Already we know that's beef. With
Joe and Drake, yeah.
I don't know Drake. I've never met Drake in my life, but Drake comes off like a person to me where I'm not going to tell you how to move. I'm going to watch your moves and move accordingly.
Yeah.
So if I see you say comments that I don't really agree with or I want you even voicing, if I see you moving in a way that's going to make me look bad, because that shit with Mr. Hotspot was bad.
It didn't make Drake look good. It made him look more like a culture vulture. And that's not what he needed because everyone was already looking at him like that because of Not Like Us in the first place.
Yeah. So like, and then also the fact that the reason why he didn't want to do it because it was a Christian song. You got the nigga coming back out saying, I don't want the kids to get beat.
Yeah. Like, Mr. Hotspot he took such a like high moral stance against it. That it was like, whatever y'all do, y'all are gonna look like fucking garbage.
Mm-hmm. And I think Drake took note of that and said, I have to get rid of you, Yachty.
Yeah.
And he dropped him off the song. So he's no longer on the SOD that just came out.
Yeah. Apparently, I was I didn't hear the song, but nobody really liked Yachty's verse on that.
It was
anyways.
horrible. Yachty has a disgusting voice.
It's not great.
He writes good. He can pick good beats and all that stuff. He sucks vocally.
As far as Yachty writing, his grasp of the female voice is uncanny. Like the fact that he was writing for Caribou, and we know that he wrote for City Girls. We don't know who else he's wrote for. But Stripes on my ass, so he caught his pussy tigger fucking on a skimming ass rich ass nigga. Sir, where do you tap in? I feel like that's amazing as a songwriter, that you can tap into a completely different state of mind, completely different gender, completely different lifestyle, and give the people who are in that lifestyle state of mind, whatever, an anthem that is a bop and a hit. That's crazy.
I mean, we've already shown with the, Jules LeBron that we kind of dictate female culture in a way. So just saying, patriarchy is strong.
Jules LeBron is a man. I mean, is a woman, first of all. So I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
I'm just talking about from the male terminology of it. All right,
That's
so
a woman.
this is what I feel like. I mean, you could be a male woman. You can.
Continue.
So what it looks like to me, and I don't think anybody said, I think this is just a man spiraling. He lost his big time investor with Drake, somebody who was pushing himself up, and he's just having a trickle down of emotions to everybody else that's underneath him. You know why I say that? Because there's another moment in the podcast where Key Glock lights up in this nigga's room. And if you watch the way that he responded to this man smoking in his house, and then you take that and compare it to when he talked about his friends and the people that he's adjacent to.
Hold on. How did he react?
So he reacts.
Glock lighting up in his house, because I feel like people probably smoke in that house all the time.
No, that's exactly what he said. You're the first person to ever light up in my room. He said, you're the first person to light up in my house.
Yachty, you're like 20 something.
26, just had his birthday.
Yeah, like people light up in your house. I don't believe that.
No, when this nigga, the way that he made it seem like that he has a strict rules in his house, and this nigga came up here and violated and gave no fuck. You look like a bitch when that happens. I'm sorry. As a man, if the fact that you ain't tell the nigga to put it out, there was no discussion. All that bass you had for Mitch and Camille, you did not have for Key Glock. And that's what I'm saying. This man is a spiraling kid who is in over his head right now.
I feel like it's also very easy to have mad bass in your voice when it comes to your niggas, but when it comes to this Key Glock, this man that you probably don't know that well, he might have been a little afraid to check him. But you're not afraid to check your boy who you pulled up by the bootstraps forcefully.
But you can't say that's not pussy behavior though.
It is pussy behavior,
Okay,
but I'm just trying to clarify like where his state of mind was. I think you should be able to set your boundaries with anybody when they're in your space, and if you're afraid to do so, then obviously that's a problem.
And then when you sit here and you show your immaturity because you're mad that your homeboy didn't clear up what was said on the podcast after you shit on him.
I wanted to talk about this. He said that we joke like this all the time. I come from a group of friends where we survived the toxic era of making jokes about our friends' characters and making jokes about our friends that we shouldn't have been making, and it was fucked up. Like, we get it. Like, this is how you and your friend joke, but sometimes you do take it too far. And I feel like this was an instance where you took it too far. You were way too comfortable shitting on your friend in a way that, like, it wasn't just on your friend. It was on his character. It was on his work ethic. It wasn't constructive whatsoever. It was like, I'm on top of you and I'm gonna take a piss on you, basically. Yeah, like,
you dominant. You tried to show your dominance over
me. And that's not cool whatsoever. Regardless of how y'all banter, bicker back and forth, but you shitting on like fundamentally who he is as a person is not a joke. It's not funny. He doesn't need to defend that. You offended him and you made him look crazy in front of a bunch of people. So now, in front of Key Glock. So now he's not gonna. Yeah. So now he's not gonna defend you, and you get to look stupid and have egg on your face in front of as many people as he did, and it's only fair. All he had to do was address you privately And that's it. He didn't have to say shit to nobody. But you have a giant ego and you think that you're the big boss out of all of your friends. So you think that they should move one way and you get to move another way. And that's weird.
And then while all this fire was burning up the city, Camille came with a gallon of gas ready to blow this bitch up.
Yup.
So shout out to Camille. Try to get you on the show. Hopefully we can in the future. But she comes in and she's upset because her and Mitch have a very close relationship. Yes, the whole cousin thing is the joke about them. They're married cousins. They're cousins by marriage.
Okay.
They're not blood cousins, but the whole cousin thing was brought up and all the other thing. But she held him down. She was upset about that. And she was basically saying like, bro, he was doing meetings for you. He's been working with you. You can't say you would be where you at without him because he was doing a lot of the legwork, which I understand. You care about somebody that you're still your friend. You still look at him as a good person. You want to defend them. I don't know if this is the place for her to do that at because she really made this shit way worse. There was like spaces about should women stay out of men's business after that.
How did she make it worse?
Because afterwards, Yachty goes into another belligerent rant where he starts calling her a hoe. He says, you ain't shit. He disrespects Mitch again, saying Mitch ain't handling no meetings. I wouldn't have Mitch do no meetings. Mitch would just tell you that so he can go be on with some other chick, which is lame. You over here shitting on your nigga.
Hold on, though. Because when Mitch went on Poor Minds, he was like, I be cheating on my bitch. He was like, I hate my bitch and I be cheating on her. And yeah.
But I'm not saying that
that probably wasn't the girl that he was talking about.
He said that. Yeah. When your nigga come here and throw you under the bus and say, this nigga wasn't doing no meetings, he was fucking bitches.
He wasn't taking care of no type of business.
That's crazy.
First of all, I wouldn't trust this nigga to handle no business for me because he's a fucking dumbass. Second of all, you dumb bitch, he was cheating on you. What?
Like, it's nuts. Do you see, like, Yachty, like, look where you resort to in a place of need, in a place of despair. Like, you resort to shitting on people at any turn. Yeah. Like, I had the assumption this nigga's not a good dude. He's not. For you to be their first thing, then you make a stupid point where you say, oh, he just wanted you for your place to stay. You just a hoe. What that make you, Yachty? If the nigga lived with you since when you with your mama, he been hoeing you for years then. Like, you, that's how I know you aren't really meant for this position right now. Like, you are an artist. You are a person who should be like T-Pain and all that other stuff. But in a position where you giving somebody $900K, you dressing people, you can't handle that. You can't handle that responsibility. You don't understand the fact that they have money and relevance is your fault. Anything that happens with them is something you should be taking control of. That is who you are supposed to be if you are supposed to be ahead of this label or whatever that, you know, this conglomerate that you're building. Mm-hmm. Like, let's be fucking for real. You are out of your depth. And the problem with this is because of how the music industry is. The music industry is you don't get money off of you. You sell your rights. So then you can get famous to then buy other people's rights so that then you can make money off of them. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem is like, if Yachty can make money off of his money.
Fucked up, convoluted industry. But
yeah, continue. If Yachty could make money off of his own music, I don't think he would be on no podcast. I don't think he would do any of this extra shit. Because he would probably make a good deal of money if he was getting the good splits on his music. But that's just not how this business operates.
So
you failed, for lack of a better term. If your artists don't mature and matriculate into something else that's profitable, you failed, nigga. Mm-hmm. And you're not cut out for this.
He also came at Caribou again. And so he was on Instagram Live crashing out. So he said that Caribou is rude as fuck. She don't respect nobody. He let her have this like soft, pretty, nice girl image.
What?
When that's
pretty?
Let's not talk about that. But like, he let her have this image when that's not who she really was. She talks to people crazy. He also said that he writes all of her shit and she ain't never wrote shit in her life and she don't know how to rap. He said, you can't rap. I write all your shit. Including the On the Radar remix. He said he slowed down the beat at put 808s on it so that everyone would think that she was like the hardest out of the group, right? This made me really like the main thing that this made me think about. First of all, like we said, Yachty's an amazing writer. But the second thing that this made me think about was, do you remember? I think it was maybe like 4 or 5 months ago when Caribou was getting a bunch of backlash for using the N-word in her music. And I don't know if she black or not, or what the fuck she is. I don't know. I just assumed she was mixed and partly black, and I feel like mixed people can say nigga, but that's not the conversation we're having. So everyone was like upset that she was saying nigga, and there was this one interview where she asked Yachty to like defend her for saying nigga. She's like, nigga, like tell them that like it's okay for me to say this. And he was like, no, why would I do that? He was like, why would I do that? That's not my place. But if you were writing all of her music, then you were the one writing all of the niggas. So why would you not
be like, nah, they're my words?
Not even that.
But I'm saying the fact that they're my words, I should at least back you up on you saying it.
Yeah, but at that point, we didn't know that he was writing it. So we didn't know that he was writing it. So like, why wouldn't you be like, nah, it's okay. Is she partly black? She could say that. Like, she a nigga. Like,
again, he doesn't understand his business. Bro, T.I. jumped on the sword for Iggy Azalea. That's a part of the game.
That's what you have to do.
And he's, like I said, he's just not cut out for it right now.
Especially if you're bringing someone who's not a part of our community into our community, then you need to fall on the sword for them.
Facilitate that.
But I don't know what Caribou is. I always assumed she was mixed of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, she looked like she got black features.
Yeah.
Just the way that her hue looks.
And it's just, a lot of people think that mixed people can't say nigga and they not black and blah, blah, blah. That's a different conversation. I think if you partly black, then you're entitled to claiming part of your black identity.
I mean, I just think overall, it goes to show where Yachty, again, is not an experience in this realm. And we're just seeing the victims of that, like not the victims, but the consequences of that. That the fact that, bro, when you are involved in this, you got to be. It's the reason why executives are tight-lipped. The reason why you don't see them crashing out on artists, making investments that don't pan out as a part of the game.
It is, yeah.
And you just kind of have to understand that and keep it going. But again, it kind of goes into what this Keith Lee happened with Keith Lee been going on, where we have these folks where people are trying to be like entrepreneurs and business owners, and they can't really hack it. So let's get into Keith Lee. So Keith Lee went to DC. Mm-hmm. He went to my home, my hood.
He said that a lot of the restaurants that he went to, like he barely is going to put up any reviews.
Mm-hmm. So basically, he went to DC. He didn't have the best time. I think he showed the mumbo sauce. Shout out to that. I appreciate you going out and do that. But apparently he has a seafood allergy. So we are seafood based.
A lot of, Maryland, DC, like it's a lot of seafood, and a lot of the best food is seafood. So because they're coastal. So
a lot of the problem he has is when they, are trying to save time and money, they may cook in the same grease and stuff like that. Yeah. And I heard this from just reading about, folks with allergies. Food allergies. They can smell it.
Yeah. And I have a friend who has a very like severe shellfish allergy. Whenever we go out, like there has to be a whole rundown of like what is cooked in the kitchen, how is it cleaned, all of that, or else like it'll be a problem and it'll be a liability for the restaurant. So the waitress or the waiter will literally stand there and ask them a bunch of like it's a very serious matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's for real, because like you don't even have to for the foods to physically touch. If you just use the knife on one and then that's all it would take.
You have to be very diligent to not kill somebody.
And then I think what the problem is with him is he purposely, because what I kept hearing what people were saying was like, oh, you went to places nobody even knows about, all this stuff. That's his MO though.
That's my thing. Keith Lee has, from the jump, when he started doing the food reviews, I started following Keith Lee when he was cooking for Ronnie while she was pregnant. Okay, before the food reviews. But when he started doing them, it was like he's going to places that nobody knows of, places that need help with business and traffic, and they might have really good food but really bad business. And he's just trying to help small mom and pop owned businesses gain more notoriety. So your favorite spot is not where he's gonna go to. Yeah. The spot that's filled that you can barely get a reservation to is not where he wants to go at all.
No. And I think my problem is with this, I think he should put out those videos.
He has.
I'm talking about the video. He's talking about the ones where he didn't like. I'm talking about for DC.
Okay. But for every single state before, DC is the first state since he's been doing this that he did not put out videos about the restaurants that he did not like. He did that in Atlanta. It was literally national news.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Right?
We talked about it.
I feel like Keith Lee has now decided to pivot again, and his brand is only positivity. It's only uplifting small restaurants that have good food. He's not giving constructive criticism to the restaurants that need it because people are out of their fucking minds. They would call the restaurants with death threats. Why are you doing that? You are fucking insane. Like, that's unhinged behavior. You see a food reviewer on the fucking internet not like the food, say the service was bad, and then you're like, okay, let me call the owner and threaten death?
I don't think Keith Lee's responsible for that.
He's not, but he's a person of like very high moral standing, so he felt responsible for that. So I think that's why he took the negative reviews completely out. He was getting so much backlash and like it was getting very weird.
I think that you should. That's part of the game.
It's
like,
part of food reviewing.
It's part of saying, and to me, it's also a part of, if I'm being a business owner, I need to be critiqued.
But Keith Lee's brand was never about reviewing food. It was always about uplifting small businesses.
Then don't tell us at all that you had some that you didn't even go to there. Just don't even tell us. Like, don't say that you had a situation where, oh, I didn't like X, Y, and Z. Don't show us all the people who, I don't like half stepping.
I think it's because this is the first time that he announced that he was going to go to a state. He only reviewed a couple of restaurants. It was much less than he usually does. People were asking like, did you try this place? Did you try this place? Did you try this place? And he was like, this time I'm only sharing what I enjoy with you guys, which is why you're getting less.
Yeah.
So people were asking him why there wasn't more, and he had to give an explanation.
You could just say, hey, like, I told you the ones I liked. That's all.
Yeah.
I feel like half stepping is the problem. My thing is this. Cool. I understand having a heart for these, business owners that are trying their best. But my nigga, you chose this art of being a business owner. And I don't feel like it should always be the criticism to the bottom, because I know that's an easy place to shoot at. I feel that. But at the same token, you need to be held to a level of accountability. Like, you are the one choosing to play capitalist.
Yeah.
You play capitalist games, you get capitalist prizes. And part of it is this. Like, so if you are not giving good performances, somebody should expose that. No?
Yeah.
Like, how do we know bad things are happening if no one's willing to say bad things are happening?
You're right. It's just the internet, like there's no way for you, if you have a huge flat platform, there's no way for you to control what people are going to react, how people are going to react when you put out this information. So if you know that people are going to make this small business owner's life a living hell, then I do understand. I feel like I would probably do the same as Keith. I would probably just upload the things that I have positive opinions on, and I would shut the fuck up about everything else.
Or you could really make it into long form content, shit on them, work with them like the Chime Time nigga does sometimes, where he'll go back to the place after shitting on them and do a separate review. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
he's done that, but that content always, the second time around, always gets less views. I've been following him for a long time. But you, obviously, as journalists too, we know that like the retraction and the correction, it never gets as much traction as much as the mistake did or the negative thing did. So it really, I don't know. I do feel like he's moving in a correct manner. Like I like the way he's doing things. He probably felt, my thing is why I think he's doing this. He probably felt terrible when it came to the restaurants that he left negative reviews on. Like it probably morally took an effect on him emotionally. So he had to stop doing it.
I just feel like, bro, you kind of got to accept what comes with the game, man. Like, because now anytime I hear you, I'm wondering, is it really legit now? Because you won't even tell me what's bad. If I can keep hearing what's good from you, how can I know and understand your palate? Be like, to me, I feel like that hurts his credibility, because now I don't get an honest review of your palettes. We talk about people say, "Oh, we get on here and talk about shit we don't like." We talk about tons of shit we love and we like to talk about.
Yeah, that never gets as much traction about the shit we it never gets as much traction as the stuff that we don't like that we talk about.
And but it's a part of it too. In the same token, where it's like we also have to be honest. Like nobody wants to come here and listen to us if we're not being honest.
Yeah,
if we're not giving
because
it up.
your opinion does not mean anything if you're compromised and you're like purchased. Yeah, you're purchased.
And I think that was the thing about him.
That's never something we're gonna do.
And I think that's the thing about with him is it was very clear he wasn't purchased, but it was because we got both sides of it. Mm-hmm. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it. And as a business owner, step your shit up. Like
step your cookies up. But also Keith Lee has gone back to restaurants. But
to me, I feel like that shows that's more. I know you say even though the retraction doesn't get the same amount of views,
not even half as much.
That shows your character to me is that you're still doing it not for the views, but because you want to create a story arc.
Which is why I still follow him from before he started doing this to now, because if you have a fucking brain of any sort, you can tell that Keith Lee's character is unshakable, and he doesn't seem like someone who's gonna lie about the food because of anything. Like, regardless of the fact that he's not putting out negative reviews, you know that the places that he suggests that he's like, oh, go here, then you're gonna enjoy it. And then people also talk about his palate a lot. That he has a very basic palate, blah, blah, blah. Most of y'all have a fucking basic palate.
That's true.
Like, do you not want the opinion of like a regular everyday nigga versus whoever else?
I saw somewhere where Joe was calling him and said he wasn't a real food critic, not a professional.
Like, what the fuck? You don't give a fuck about what the fuck food critics have to say. Who do you follow that is an actual like Michelin rated food critic? And do you not go to JJ's? Do you not go to fucking Roscoe's? Do you not go to whoever the mom and pop spots that you go to? Because fucking Gordon Ramsay was like, oh no, that's fried chicken isn't fried hard enough. No, you go to the places that your auntie tells you to go to. You go to the places that your friends tell you to go to. Everyday people with the same basic ass palate as you do, bitch. You don't eat escargot, bitch. You don't eat caviar,
blanche.
bitch. You don't know the difference between.
Poupon.
Okay, you don't know the difference between like a fresh seafood, frozen seafood, bitch. Your palate is just as basic, if not more basic, than Keith Lee's. You can listen to him. It's okay. You can take his suggestions.
You know what I feel bad about is when I see people on the internet and they kind of like have similar personalities or similar like traits of people I know in real life. Like I got a homeboy who like reminds me of Kodak Black. I always tell him like you was Kodak Black.
Oh my God, a rapist?
No, in the sense of like being real country and like, you know, acting a particular street way. That's
okay, pick somebody else because I feel like you have a rapist homeboy now.
I was gonna say though with my young. I was gonna say
he be touching bitches against their will.
Keith Lee reminds me of my brother, my older brother,
Stefan.
Because like he be into the food and the carry out places and stuff too. I'm like, damn, my brother didn't know, man. If he just would put a camera in front of his face, and
yeah, that's it.
And especially with his personality, his shit would have caught on.
You would have got so much money for kids. I love you. It's not shade.
Yes, it is. Granted, he talked about it on the show with us, so I mean,
he did,
but it wasn't.
He
17.
is fucking hilarious.
It wasn't 17 though. But let's.
We need to like. I really just like we had a episode with my friends. I want to have an episode with your family. I want to have like your cousins, Ryan, Stefan. Like I want.
That would be cool.
I want that energy. That would be hilarious.
That'd be cool. I wouldn't be mad at that. We'll see what we can do. All right, so Uncle Luke, man, this nigga, he really violating. Did you hear what he said?
He said that all of these rap girlies that are talking about fucking and popping pussy owe him money.
Yeah, and the crazy part about this is, for one thing, so the court case that he's referencing, he had to go fight. I think it was like it went to the Supreme Court.
It did. It was a very monumental case as far as hip hop.
Yeah. Well, my thing is this. I'm tired of you niggas who feel like y'all gave niggas freedom but no like structure. I'm tired of y'all niggas thinking y'all did something. Y'all gave niggas the freedom to fuck shit off. Let's keep it a bean. He did. You gave niggas the freedom to fuck around. Oh,
yeah.
Thank you, Uncle Luke. We can talk about busting pussy hoes on the news for the white man.
Well, It's not just that. It's we're allowed to express ourselves freely in music without censorship, which I don't want to take away from him. Because I don't.
But hold on. If the nigga was making songs about loving a black woman and treating her right, you think he would have needed to go to Supreme Court? Did Marvin Gaye ever have to go to Supreme Court?
Definitely not. But I feel like you're getting into like respectability politics.
No,
like,
I'm getting into the nature of what he's talking about.
Yeah,
you wanted the freedom to say,
oh my God, a nigga can talk about popping pussy if he want to talk about popping pussy. Just like he can equally talk about marrying said pussy if he want to talk about marrying said pussy. He should have a equal fucking foundation, a platform to talk about whatever the fuck he wants to talk about if he's not talking about hurting anybody. If he want to talk about licking that pussy down, then he should be able to do that.
No one's saying that he shouldn't be able to do it, but to say that, oh, you get this landmark because you want to bring degeneracy into the culture. Oh my God.
You do get a landmark because you brought degeneracy into the culture legally.
That should be a
landmark.
That should be a stain.
It's not it's respectability politics. It's not a stain. If you want to talk about the grimiest sex that you want to talk about on a song, then you should be able to do so because there is a population of our citizens that are having grimy, fucking nasty, you shouldn't even talk about it, sex, but they can talk about it if they want to. Because we live in America where we talk about popping pussies and busting ass wide open, and Jasmine Brown can get on a podcast and talk about how Cam Newton be putting in her ass every single day because the land of the free.
And no one's saying that you can't. I'm not defending that. I'm talking about, hey, my nigga, how about you actually say some shit of substance?
No, because that's not what
Let me finish.
We have Kirkland for that.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
I'm saying, say something of substance. Say, hey, I want to take these crackers and Peckerwoods down. Let that be the prerequisite for the freedom talk.
We have Kendrick for that.
No, he ain't. He loving the Peckerwoods.
Like we have like, oh, I don't. You want to hear Uncle Luke talk about revolutionary?
I don't want to hear him celebrate himself because I brought degeneracy into my culture. That's why. I don't have a problem with you being okay with it. Cool.
I disagree with you.
Open up and say people can be degenerate. Don't sit here and let me wear like a badge of honor and say, oh, you rap girlies need to give me money because I let y'all be hoes on wax.
I agree with you. He doesn't deserve money. You don't deserve no type of money, nigga. Like, obviously, you did open that door. Very obviously. So yes, that was due to you doing that first, right? You were a pioneer for being a nasty motherfucker. So congratulations for that. And it's a morally shaky genre of music, but that's not what the fuck we're here to judge.
The music is one step close to rape culture. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, in one breath, you would sit here and say,
Uncle Luke kind of
allegations.
I don't know about that, but in his music, that's what I was talking about. In Uncle Luke's music, he prompts you to do what you want. Shake that pussy, baby. You only gotta
that sounds like a demand.
You only gotta shake that pussy if you want to shake that pussy, girl.
That didn't sound like
he's
it was
telling you what to do, but you don't gotta. He's not saying, bitch, shake that pussy right now. Like, no, he's not saying that. He's saying shake that pussy.
So according to Hip Hop DX, he was accused of allegedly raping both women on the same night. So there's two women. According to the suit and the plaintiff.
That's why I said music.
As Jane Doe. That's what I'm saying. Like, your music is synonymous with what ended up being a big portion of rape culture.
Doodle Brown was just such a big part of like my coming to age.
Yeah, according to Hip Hop News, they say this one they were untrue allegations, but I knew the nigga had allegations.
Every nigga in hip hop, every man in Hollywood has allegations. What we're talking about though is respectability politics, whether he did something pioneering or not by having that parental advisory sticker placed on the CDs so that people can know what the fuck they're listening to. And we're talking about whether he's owed financial compensation from the New Girls for making that type of music.
That's not where I was going with it at all. I'm going out where, nigga, you brought degeneracy into the culture. You do not get a badge of honor for it.
Oh, I think that's not the most nuanced conversation that we can have about it. But the most nuanced conversation. But I do think that degeneracy has a place in society.
I think it does too.
Okay, so is it not a good thing that he opened up the space for degeneracy in our culture?
No, not because if I'm gonna bring up a space where degeneracy is possible, I personally would feel like it's my my duty to make sure I have a system in place that doesn't make that be the status quo.
How would you have done that as Uncle Luke? Step by step.
I gotta know what Uncle Luke kind of money he has.
Okay, see, you don't even
You
know
don't even know
what the fuck you would have done.
I wouldn't have told her to shake what your mama gave you.
This is exactly what I was talking about the other day when you said I was being shady to that girl. And I was like, no, because you were not in this position to give this person this type of advice. You can sit here on your soapbox and be like, you should have. But when I ask you for step by step of what they should have, you have fucking no clue because you were never in that position in the first goddamn place.
I don't know exactly everything he had access to. I don't even know his sensibilities the time.
You never knew.
But I can still criticize the outcome and the fact that he won money for being a fucking
how much money
pimp.
did he win?
I don't think he won any money. I think he just got allowed to play.
You just said he won money.
No, I said the money that he wanted.
Oh, he wanted money.
Yeah, he
you said
wanted money.
Okay. I thought you said he won money.
I said, well, he wanted money after he won.
Okay, you should added the.
There's a lot of W's. I'm sorry.
This nigga don't be knowing how to use his words in his mouth and tongue after a little bit.
Whoa, that just put allegations on me. Like I'm a subpar person in a particular manner.
He's not a subpar person in any manner.
They're not going to know. All right, so now we got to stay, before we wrap up the show, we got to stay in the comedy sector for just a tad bit. He's responded, man. Mr. Potato Head, Steve Harvey, king of comedy. He's responded to Katt Williams. So this is what he said recently.
Penny Annie ass hater who is, and you'll never have a hater that's doing better than you. Always know that. Don't get off the wall to dress some penny any ass boy who ain't got shit going for himself. Now you done stopped your climb up on the wall so you can come down here and talk to his little punk ass. Don't do that, man. I stay away from it. Now do I want to? Yes. Because I'm a human being and I'm hood. Now I used to be a fighter and I still got hands. They slow.
No, you don't,
If you
Steve.
get up on me real close, I can still knock your monkey ass out there. I just don't have the quickness I have. But I still know how to turn my hip and shift that weight, and I'll knock your short ass out. I'll shoot your perm straight out your head. I don't even know why I said it.
Now, I think he probably could beat up Katt Williams, because Katt Williams got beat up by a 14-year-old. So
He did. But 14-year-olds are very agile and strong.
nimble.
And also, yeah. Also, did you see that like 40 that Katt Williams ran in like 10 seconds?
That
Come
was a
on now.
basketball court, though.
Yeah, but still, like, I feel like...
That's not 40 yards, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, whatever. I feel like Katt Williams is definitely more agile than Steve Harvey is.
He's
I feel
more
like,
shifty.
I feel like Steve Harvey probably moves slow, and
He said
regardless of the fact that Steve is big, Katt could probably dodge most of them shits, and he could probably land enough punches or hits that make him collapse in the first
But if
goddamn.
Steve get a hand,
I'm thinking about it in a very like anime-ish kind of way, and he's like dodging. Next thing you know, Steve is spitting out blood, falling on the floor. That's how I'm thinking about it.
Nah, Steve going his burly ass. Steve burly ass gonna grab up on Katt and it's over with. As soon as he get his hands on him, that's all he got to do is get his hands on him.
Slam.
He gonna have Katt looking like that bus driver. He gonna be like the bus driver beating on that nigga shit. You see that New Jersey bus driver? This nigga got spit on by the driver, by the rider, the nigga who was riding the bus. Man, he yoked that nigga up and took him to the ground.
It's like a misdemeanor for you to do that. Also, by the way, don't be trying to fuck up bus drivers and
He
train
was slamming
conductors.
that nigga head on the seat. That's why I feel like if Steve Harvey gets a hand on Katt Williams,
It's just like,
it's over.
is he quick enough to get that grip?
That's the thing, though. Sometimes you don't got to be quick. You just got to just be the right time. You just got to have good timing.
Yeah, but timing has to do with speed.
No, I'm saying because timing could be you just looking at his feet. He trip over his feet real quick. Now you on him. He step on something he wasn't expecting to beat it. Now you on his ass.
Yeah, fair.
Gonna look like them folks that was in the Maryland casino. Them old niggas that was going at it. They gonna look like that. The thing I have an issue with Steve Harvey is like he just feels like the representative of like the black man with white ideologies, like long-term ideologies.
For a long time he has.
And it just seems like he feels like he's getting into his Bill Cosby phase. Oh, pull your pants up, you nigga boos. Like that's what he feel like.
Steve Harvey has been on that type of timing for a very long time, I feel like.
I think that I hope the allegations come out soon, man. Let's wake it up on his ass.
What do you mean you hope that? What allegations?
I don't know. I'm just saying, let's see if they come out.
You just want to see a black man
I want to see a black man who espouses his type of ideologies. I love to see that happen every time.
Yeah, but I no, because
their ideologies don't help the black community by and large, and I love to see them fail and fall. I love to see their hubris be at the best of them.
I want to see them fail but not fall.
Oh, I want to see you fail, fall, and I want to see another black person, hopefully, who has better morals and identities, practices than you do. I love to see that. So, before we wrap it up, man, Steve Harvey is supposed to be doing a biopic. Did I say that right?
Biopic.
Biopic? What I call a biopic?
Yeah, like that sounds like something medical.
Biopic. Who do you think should be starring him? I saw Michael B. Jordan was
Callion Fox.
Who? Callion Fox. Do they look like a?
You're gonna be so fucking angry when you type in this name and see who I'm talking about. You're gonna be so mad. Also, maybe Shannon Sharpe.
Shannon Sharpe. How do you spell that?
Caleon Fox. He's a
musician.
If y'all
talking about that nigga.
Yeah.
You want him to be Steve Harvey? This nigga don't even look like he could get to the weight of Steve Harvey.
He is literally the reason that Lil Yachty is famous also. You remember?
Yeah, he did the song.
I know and did the dance. You want this for life. Taking pictures with all my eyes, but I can't have. Because the only fucking reason I knew about that song was because of Callion Fox's stupid ass vines.
I thought that was his song.
Me too.
I thought that was just his song he was playing with.
Yeah. Yeah. Because after Yachty went off, everyone was like, bitch, we wouldn't know you if it wasn't for Callion. Mm-hmm. Callion is the reason. You need to thank that nigga.
Steve.
That nigga was your Yachty to your Mitch. You the Mitch.
He more than that, honestly. He gave him the super look. But let's see. I was thinking Lou, the comedian.
Luke James?
Mm-hmm. I think that's his name. The light-skinned nigga the one I say he's always like super. He's a kind of like.
Oh, the nigga that be on Twitter that was like, oh, where your mom at?
No, not that Lou. It's another Lou.
It's too many Lou's at this point.
Yeah, we talked about him on the 16. Him right here, Lou Young.
Oh,
Lou Young could do that.
I don't know who that nigga is at.
You never seen any of his clips or anything?
Nope.
You never seen Lou Young? He's like the comedian.
Nope.
He's like the comedian you call when you trying to be like super safe. Like you want this to be a super safe endeavor. Like he'll go in there and get
That's probably why he hasn't popped up in my algorithms, because I like salacious niggas.
No, well he got one.
Shake it up.
He got one clip like he was like how, when you're not really in the conversation, but you're trying to be in the conversation type thing at the barbecue. And he sees a bunch of niggas like over there. He's sitting down. Oh yeah, and they just ignore the nigga like
corny.
I think he could play Steve Harvey. You don't think he could? I think he'd be a good Steve Harvey. Get him in shape.
Who do I think? Because I don't think anybody young could play Steve Harvey. I can't think of anybody young that's playing Steve Harvey right now. Other than
Michael B could.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
I don't think he has the comedic chops in him to do that. Like he would have to completely take on a different aura than he has for all of his movies. He's never done something comedic.
What about Kenan Thompson?
I'm trying to think of maybe, I don't like him, Desi.
You think Desi Banks could play Steve Harvey? That's like the reverse they did with Shawty who what's that girl
I'm just trying to think of someone who's like
Nia.
comedic but also like dark skin enough.
What's the girl name from Drumline?
Ooh,
Zoe?
what's his name? God damn it, I can't. Ooh, the one with the mustache. The one with the mustache that be doing the stuff. Ooh.
That doing the stuff.
Oh, he's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember his name.
All right, I'm going to a website since you can't think of anything.
Yeah.
This is who they have for, this is a nasty list too. This is the 7 actors that Family Feud voted could play Steve Harvey. So you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith.
No.
Chris Rock.
No.
Michael Strahan.
Absolutely the fuck not.
You don't think Michael Strahan could play?
No.
He probably can't act. Jamie Foxx.
I just don't see it like physically.
Eddie Murphy.
It's just he's too distinctive a comedian himself to play that distinctive a comedian. Eddie Murphy is too distinctive a comedian himself to play somebody like that. Like it has to be someone we don't know that can take up that.
And then the last 2 was Kenan Thompson and Kevin Hart.
I just see, okay, y'all, I love SNL. I love Kenan Thompson. I feel like Kenan Thompson has perfected corny white comedy for white people. And I don't want to see him in a role like Bernie Mac was too real of a real nigga to be played by Kenan Thompson.
I'm talking about Steve Harvey though.
Oh, I thought you were talking about, yeah. My bad. So Steve Harvey is, I don't want him.
That wouldn't be cool. He did the show. Remember, he used to be on the Steve Harvey show.
Yeah, it's too much of a caricature. It seems like.
Well, he does it on SNL, so I guess that probably would take away from it. I think honestly, Lou, if you want to get visual, Lou.
No, I do.
They listening to us.
I'm gonna X out what I said before. Lou is probably one of the best options.
Yeah, either Lou or Michael B. Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Michael B.
You don't think he could yuck it up?
I don't know, man. He just be fucking white bitches, and I can't have him play Steve Harvey.
I would just love the scene where he's talking to Lori. In like the end of the movie.
You know,
where he's talking to a version of Lori.
There's gonna be an episode in October where I come here dressed as Steve Harvey. I'm not
talking about our Christmas. I mean, a Halloween episode.
No, I actually am probably gonna do a costume for each week of that.
Oh, the month.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it a couple of days ago. Like Steve Harvey would be really easy because all I gotta get is a mustache. I got the wig cap, and I got the big ass suit already. Like, I love an oversized thrift store moment. So I got the big ass suit. Like y'all are just gonna. It's just gonna be Steve one day. I'm not gonna put no makeup on.
That's what the black girls was doing last year. Everybody was Steve Harvey.
Everyone is still Steve Harvey. He's such an easy costume. It's just big ass suit, bald cap, mustache.
Last year there was like a concerted effort.
2 years before that, it was like the thing.
I thought there was like a concerted effort of like, hey, like let's all be Steve Harvey.
Yes, sit on it, ding. Like everyone was doing that. It was my button.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck was that? All right, we good? We got anything else we want to talk to? I don't really have anything on my list. Nothing except that 100 gigs is the only thing that I didn't really care if we talked about or not.
No, there's nothing I want to talk about. The cloud might become a physical cloud again instead of a thing. So you might have to buy hardware to have cloud storage, which is fine for us.
That's just a terabyte. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's 4 terabytes.
Yeah, it's external hard drive. That's all it is.
Which is like very necessary at this point because what the fuck is going on with the storage? You got to pay for storage everywhere. That's all I have. Okay. I don't see anything else. I'm scrolling through the Shade Room real quick. I unfollowed the Shade Room at least 2 years ago, guys. Y'all should do that for y'all mental health. It's very great.
You probably should follow it back though so we can chop it up.
I mean, no, actually, I didn't unfollow them. I hid them from my timeline.
I've been doing that on like women's posts. Like say if I get a follow from a girl and she's not appealing and like she likes to post a lot of herself, I'll mute that. Like I don't want ugly girl on my timeline.
Look at what your man just posted.
Yeah, but he also posted Joe with finger guns. Remember I told you?
Mm-hmm.
That shit was funny. That's a nasty pic of Joe. On the beach.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Finger guns.
Babe.
Toes in the sand. That's disgusting. Are we still doing the show?
Joe said.
Well, he had them like together, right? He had it linked, right? He had the hands linked, right? Disgusting. That's violent behavior. And then he had the shorts.
Nah, I'm not even being dramatic. That's exactly how Joe was sitting in the picture.
Light-skinned feet in the sand.
Like, what?
He also posted Duke on there. Dennis Duke.
Duke Dennis.
Oh, Duke Dennis, my bad. I called him Dennis Duke. Like he was in the military. That
That's
nigga
crazy.
look like Young Future.
Why he did. Well, he does.
Look like Young Future. I'm surprised Future ain't never did no content. Well, you know Future an arrogant motherfucker. Like, why wouldn't you do content with the nigga that looked just like you?
Future don't do content.
I'm just saying you can do anything with him. Nigga, you
With
can have him in a music
niggas?
video, being a young you in a music video. Like,
Has Future ever done shit like that?
good start. Good place to start.
He don't need to start clout chasing like that till the clout start dying down a little bit. He don't need a young nigga to do shit.
I don't think that's clout chasing. To do a dope video where it's like me doing some shit when I was younger, you got Dennis Duke doing it, and then you got older me rapping about it.
Plus, Dennis Duke only looked like Duke Dennis. I think his name is Duke Dennis.
It might be. It sound better though the other way, right?
Yeah, I think it is Duke Dennis.
It's probably
but fuck, I forgot my train of thought.
No, he kind of remind you of Keywan a little bit. A little bit. He got some. Well, when I watch the clips, he remind me of Keywan.
I think Duke is fine, so I don't.
Oh well, don't think that about it.
He don't remind
my
me
partner.
No, not at all.
He just the way that he talk. It remind me of my partner.
Oh well, yeah. I don't know how Keywan talks.
Like that's a nice thing to say about somebody though.
What?
I don't think that would be a bad. I would want him to listen to it and be like, "Oh man, when you say that?" I think that's a nice thing to say.
Yeah, no,
he don't have the internet, so he would just be thinking I'm shitting on him anyway. So.
He's not gonna think that this is a bad thing. Plus, does he listen to the shows all the way through?
He probably ain't my real nigga though.
Like, it's probably 2 of your friends that watch all the way through. I can guess. Rod, Eric, that's it.
All right, we done?
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, life is a labor of love, so let's keep building these moments together. And remember, your job is not your family, and the only thing you should be exploiting is these corporations. Let them know what they need to do, baby.
Follow us on all of the social media at talk.fnf.tv, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of the things. Thank you very much for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, and we appreciate you. Bye. Finger guns.